Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership. Leadership Talks is a podcast hosted by Leadership Card, a leadership coaching training organization. We run leadership programs for individual contributors and corporate clients. Our coaches, myself, Kirandeep Sandhu, Ashish Datta, Ram Ramakrishnan, and Devesh Mohan, are every week bringing in different leaders from different industries and having these leadership talks with them so that you can learn from their leadership journey. Today's episode is being hosted by myself, Kirandeep Sandhu, and Ashish Datta, and we will be talking about a journey from a manager to an entrepreneur. Over to you, Ashish.
Thank you, Kiran. Today we have the privilege of having as our guest Mr. Partha Banerjee, founder and director of NP Financials, a very well-established organization in Australia, and it provides various services including financial advisory and financial analysis. Mr. Banerjee is popularly known to us as PSB, currently resides in Melbourne, Australia. PSB is an engineering topper from a coveted university in Kolkata, Jadavpur University. And as soon as he graduated, he faced a big dilemma. He had two choices: to join the Indian Navy or Tata Steel. He decided for the latter, and there started his corporate journey. Spanning across 3 decades, PSB has been associated with various conglomerates, including the likes of Siemens, Wipro, Telstra. The important thing that I want to point out here about PSB, which really stands out, is that he has worked in 11 different countries. But in 2010, he found his true calling and passion. He realized the person he wanted to be. And he completely transformed himself and his area of expertise. He then founded NP Financials, a company which serves the trading community at large into various areas, starting with forex, shares, commodities, bonds, indices, and cryptos. Welcome, PSB. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you very much, Ashish. Good morning to you, and thank you, Kiran, and good afternoon to you. How are you all?
We are good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Indeed. So, PSB, I'd like to start asking you, and about this you talk very often, and we're also talking before we started the show about enjoying life, enjoying rich life,
True.
finding your inner peace. Tell us a little more about this. How do you really make that possible?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. To me, life actually resembles with time. As you know, we all say life is either short or very long. So, what we are relating to is time. So, to my mind, I think if I can be or anyone can be time rich, not time poor or time challenged, then possibly he can be happier in life. Why? I consider myself as a very blessed person to be time rich because getting time 24 hours for me and my family and my friends, I can think, I can plan and execute for my own benefit as well as for the family, for the business and friends. So time rich means what? Time rich means I have 24 hours for all these three aspects of life. So if you can divide that, and I'm not actually committing myself to 9 to 6 or 9 to 9 job or 9 to 9 9 to 6 job and 3 hours of commuting, so wasting 12 hours, not wasting actually, at the end of the day, at the end of the month some people get something, but yeah, I'm really done and dusted within 3 hours of each day from 9:50 to 12:50. I'm done and dusted for the day. So for the rest of the day, I can plan, execute, and whatever I want to do, I can do. So this is the way actually I enjoy my life. That's why I always say I'm always happy. I'm blessed because I'm time rich.
Yeah, so interesting. Time rich. I think I'll add that word to my dictionary.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you very clearly define that as in the sense it is not really about enjoying life. It is how you allocate the time to different important aspects of your life. You're working, you're also spending time, how you balance yourself, correct? In
True.
the true sense, what we call work life balance, in the true sense, enjoying everything, is it not?
Abs-
So,
Yeah,
very
true.
true, very
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah, very interesting of that. So, PSB, we've known each other for very long, from those
Good.
days, so many years, right? And I think you are one special person to me. It really amazes me how you have
Thank
transformed yourself. Starting, from procurement, then you went to manufacturing, then the different areas into IT. You went into, and then now you transformed yourself to finance, financial areas of trading that you are doing. Tell me a little more. How did you go about doing this? What kind of challenges you faced, and how did you really transform yourself?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, isn't it? It's not
Yes.
easy to transform a person in one lifetime. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was possible. It was a long story. In my engineering days in Jadavpur, all of us we studied mechanics, dynamics, thermodynamics, and fluid mechanics, machine design, design engineering, automation, robotics, and computer science, and blah blah blah. We read almost 48 subjects. I think I could remember 10 of them, but don't know why I chose behavioral science as my specialization in fourth
Okay.
year. So in fourth year, I don't know, at the age of 22, at the 21, 22, I chose behavioral science as a special subject, not thermodynamics, not automation, but behavioral science. And after that, I think I got lucky in Tata Steel as well and Siemens, because in first year in Tata Steel, they gave me 700 and preferential shares at $45. As you would understand,
Yeah.
45 rupees, sorry, 45 rupees, and of course Kiran would be 45 rupees, 700 shares. And after staying there in 3 years in Tata Steel, when I joined Siemens, I got lucky again. They gave me 550 preferential shares at the rate of, I think, 50 rupees per share. To me, at that age of 22, 24, 25, those are papers only. I would not know anything about it. I got married at 26 thanks to the bull market contributed by Harsat Mehta.
wow.
Tata Steel went, Tata Steel went up to 700 rupees and Siemens went up to 550. So I thought, yeah, at the time I realized that it's probably time to convert the paper into money, and I got good money. So that intrigued me. That started. I always believed that the universe gives us the dots in life. Supposing I'm 40 years, 50 years, 50, 60 years, or 30 years, 25, doesn't matter. It starts all the way from zero. It universe gives us the dots. So we need to join those dots to find who we are. All right. So, and then after getting a good money, getting married to a good wife, Nabanita is the best of the best, I think. And I was I started reading Economic Times. I would probably know in India. And at that time, bull market continued, and I studied Economic Times, and everything I was buying was going up. When I came to Australia for my settlement in 2005, everything I bought, I lost money because that was not a bull market. And I was listening to a so-called business house who was giving me advices. Then I started developing macros in Excel and all those things. And those years, those grayling periods from 2005 to 2010. And before that, I need to tell you that when I was going through an interview process, 8 days in Indian Navy at Bangalore, I was subjected to 8 days, 4 days of physical testing and 4 days of psychological testing. My goodness, that actually gave me and I got selected in that 8 days. Strong belief that leaders must produce leaders. So that was my starting belief. So at the very young age, after that training of 8 days in Indian Navy, I started doing the same in Tata Steel and Siemens. I developed, I picked up the good labors and getting the opportunity to become assistant group leader to group leader. Same thing I continued in Siemens, picked up the good junior executives and trained them and possibly and developed them as assistant managers or managers. So my tenure in manufacturing actually helped me a lot to develop myself as a leader from the grassroots level, because you know how unionized labor force can be. And that actually from their manufacturing, I actually learned the true essence of leadership. And you talked about procurement. Yeah, that's again a different difficult I think department to lead, because in procurement many things can happen. What but how did I survive that procurement and strategic purchasing? I always trust people, always till now. From the very beginning I trust people.
Right.
And while I was procurement, I demonstrated two things: integrity and loyalty. So if I can demonstrate integrity and loyalty, and I can trust people, and always fought for the growth of of my subordinates. So that was my procurement stint. And while coming to IT, again, before coming again, I'm just trying to give you the dots. After year 12, actually, I ranked high in the joint entrance exam to get into computer engineering in Sipu. As I didn't choose Navy, and I chose Tata Steel, so I didn't choose computer engineering, but I chose something else in production engineering in Jadavpur University. But that knack of something to do new, to develop something through programming, actually intrigued me from the very earlyhood, from maybe from 18, 19 years. So all put together in manufacturing, procurement, and IT, I got to hone the all the internal qualities to be an effective leader. So what are they? To me, they are very simple. All are free: discipline, control, patience, greed, fear, and emotions. I think that's it.
Okay, very well put. Thank you so much, Partha. That was excellently put out with how you talked about how you have evolved. In fact, you went into the next question that I had planned for you. So I'm going to now take you a little deeper into this whole conversation. You've talked about the different leadership qualities that actually equip you to move from one sector to the next. But will you be able to share what was that tipping point that came into your life, which was from being a manager, that decision? What actually triggered you to take that decision to move from a manager to actually leading your own organization as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, good question. As we all know, being in corporate, from our days of assistant engineer to assistant manager to program manager and all those stuff, I honestly speaking, I think I got tired of the rat race, and
Mm,
I was looking for something which can give me peace. As
mm,
such, I always wanted to be in sync with my body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit.
mhm,
And I'm of a kind of person who never would like to do or never done compare, complain, criticize, compete, contend for self-worth. I'm not discouraging anyone not to compete for the Olympic gold. Of course he can, and he will, and he must. But for self-worth, all those five cancerous things, I hate doing it. So hence always believed in my abilities to lead through the examples. So believed in true potentials which is within me. So that was not coming out. I was getting promotion, I was getting good money, but that was not coming. I was not in sync with myself, I was not happy going that. So that was the point which actually helped me to take the bold decision. It was a very difficult decision, four of us and in our family.
and then in fact I was just in fact one of my articles recently I've written is that many times people get into this whirlpool that if he's doing it, maybe I do it, I will be as good as them. But you're actually taking up something for the wrong reasons, and
True.
because of that you're never in sync with your own body, as just what you said. So
True.
that was a really good point, Partha, that you brought in. So I'm going to now just stretch it a little bit from there itself about you talking about, you wanted to be in sync with yourself and not have these cancerous things which were affecting your self-worth. So how about, have you, I mean, how do you implement these self-control? I mean, how do you practice this? Because as leaders, we're constantly challenged. We have thrown into the deep end, and we have to now have control over our emotions. So maybe that could be a tip that our emerging leaders could take away of how to self-restrain.
Yeah, it does not come easy actually. I was trained in engineering, and after
Mm,
10 years, I forgot everything about engineering, isn't it?
yeah.
So what happened in engineering? Engineering actually trained me to become a disciplined person. If you follow an engineer and you follow a medicine practitioner, you'll understand discipline is more on to the engineer compared to a medicine practitioner. Of course, he can be more disciplined as well. So that aspect of discipline being trained through engineering in 4 years, and from the very beginning, I don't know, maybe genetically or something, I was extremely disciplined and self-controlled.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think those things helped me a lot.
So that's, so basically you could say that that is something that over a period of time, as we move forward, we have to become slightly more disciplined and more self-controlled so we can manage ourselves. In fact, Ashish is writing a book which should be coming on soon, which is
Oh,
about leadership, the dark hole. And that is going to be teaching our young leaders on how they can control their emotions. Right, Ashish?
congratulations to you, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that will come out. Yeah. So,
That's true. So, okay, Partha, let's take it now back into the leadership thing. Let's talk about teams. I mean, your journey has not only been about yourself and how you have grown, how you have moved from manager to entrepreneur, self control, self restraint, being more in sync, having time rich. How have you worked with people and built resilient teams?
Yes, team building is important in life, isn't it? So I always practiced two things while team building: coaching in private and praising in public.
Hmm.
So I never coach a person in public, never ever. But in my manufacturing days, I saw people doing that. But I did just the opposite. So always coach them in private and praise them in public to keep the moral high. And I believed in giving the opportunity to them to stay motivated and allow them, in my terms, to screw it to do it. Unless something is begin, sorry, my language, and
I
learn
love
from
it.
their and learn from their mistakes. Because I believe if no one is doing any mistakes, he is not doing anything at all. We must do all the mistakes to learn from it. We only learn from our mistakes. I don't know. I have read, coming to this trading business, I have read more than 400, 500 books, and many of them are in brain. Many of them I thick books I have read in brain, and I learned to know how amygdala, a particular physical part in brain works, how our hypothalamic pituitary adrenaline axis (HPT) axis physically work in brain. So all those things are big things. We'll talk later on. So yeah, allow them to do mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and then listen more. I always listen more and talk less, as I believe that I am as good or bad or best or worst as my weakest member of my team. So in the process, I have developed a strong team, and my team has always demonstrated and exceeded the client's most optimistic expectations because they learn from their mistakes.
Mhm. Perfect. Thank you so much. I loved it, especially that you are as good as your weakest member of the team. That's like that. If the link is weak, then the entire chain is going to break. So that's exactly what you have talked about it. And listen more. This is something that's a skill that all of us as leaders, as well as leadership coaches, have to really work on, which is listen more and talk less so that we can allow other people to share their thoughts, their inner fears, and come out from what is struggling them and to come out, triumph from the whole process. Over to you,
Absolutely.
Rajesh.
Yeah, so PSB, expanding on the same question about building teams. Yeah, you talked about how you build those resilient teams. I'd like to, you have been through different industries, unionized, non unionized, IT, manufacturing, and now into the financial sector. Do you think the leadership style changes yet to adapt to different leadership styles depending on the culture of the organization, or how was it to you, or the same parameters worked?
Yes, the culture of the organization is very, very important actually. People come from different aspects of life, different financial conditions of life, and the culture of the company is extremely important. But all said and done, I think you can actually meet and exceed those aspects if you have faith in yourself and if you believe in your inner calling and listen to your, again I would repeat that, listen to your body, mind, heart, soul and spirit, because our body never lies. And if you really want to coming back to my way of doing it, so if I really want to leave my job from 9 to 5 so that I can lead a better life and become successful entrepreneur and lead by example, I think we need to take the first step, the first step in our life. So my advice to the people who would be possibly doing this from shifting thinking to shift from the cultured or a restricted organizational culture, if it is a challenge to them, and come and start something as an entrepreneur. So my first advice to them would be save up enough dollar amount or any currency up to 1 year of your bills. So you should be able to pay your bills for 1 year without any. And then I think I'd be in whether it is in a culture organization or in an entrepreneur, doesn't matter as long as you are having a revenue and expenses. That's all about. So I think we need to be fearless, bold, self-motivated dynamo, and at times ruthless to take some drastic decisions.
Mhm. So that was your leadership style. Is that what you're saying? That be bold, be fearless, and be ruthless, and that will actually help you no matter which industry you go into. You will be able to survive.
Exactly correct. These are the, because my mother always said take the weather with you. So and the knowledge is always powerful wherever you go. I have worked in different organization and working in 11 different countries, especially in varied from Saudi Arabia to Germany to South Africa to Australia and India. I've seen if you are inner self, you are good at your inner self. I think you can be good at outer self also.
Good at inner self with the
Yeah,
outer self. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I picked that. Listen to your body, soul, and spirit, right? That is the main thing,
Yep.
I would say. In fact, I was about to, I think you answered that question also. I was going to ask you, you talk of peace of mind. But if I have to leave a job, well-paying job, and go into entrepreneurship, would I have that peace of mind? Always plays right of people. And I think you answered that question to some extent. You need to say.
Absolutely.
Saving is one part of it. The other part is what else would I need to have that entrepreneurship and how should I build one?
Yes, first thing is as I said, saving for 1 year so that no one is bothering you,
Mhm.
and you are also not tensing yourself, so that is taken care of. And then you need to be bold enough to have belief in yourself that yes, I can deliver. If I have delivered in manufacturing, I can only talk about myself. If I have delivered in manufacturing, bringing my team's performance index from 65 to 95, if I can work good in procurement and can actually excel in IT, why not a field in which Ashish Datta is the master finance? Sure, let's try that. So for me, I tried that. Anyone can try to do anything. So and yes, so those characteristics, believing in one's ability, uh, being fearless. I think the whole important thing in life is every success is in the other side of fear. We are extremely fearful. As I said to you, amygdala. I don't know whether people realized or not. Our limbic brain. Let me tell you one sentence. Our limbic brain has not developed much in last 220,000 years, because we were fearful initially from wolf, from tiger, from lions. Now we are fearful of missing bus, missing train, losing job, not having the job tomorrow, getting scolded by boss, my wife. My dear friend, give me a break. So kill the fear. Kill the fear, mate. Kill the fear.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to bring Partha to this whole thing that I recently went on TEDx, and my speech was about the mindset of the Wonder Woman. And I talk about all humans suffer from the 3F syndrome. Number one is fears, number two, failures, and number three, we forget who we really are. So these together make us absolutely fearful of anything new that we want to try in life.
You can
That's
try
what.
three more. You can try three more F, Kiran. We always do try one of these three: fight,
Huh.
flight, freeze.
Yes, absolutely. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Ashish, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, after a very, very long time, you made me remember about performance index, productivity index, 65 to 100, reminiscing old days. And definitely, you are a much better finance guy than me, I have to say. Because normally,
Oh,
finance is a very conservative. You are that fearless guy, which it should be. So, I think that was an excellent conversation about mind, spirit, leadership, and really we hear that and your transformation. We are coming almost to the end of our show, Partha. For you now, this talk is mostly for the emerging leaders who are looking for a direction to their life. Leadership is also a part of life. So, if I have to ask you to list down the top three areas what an emerging leader should really focus on, what would be your advice?
yeah, good question to end, mate. I think I must admit nowadays people or young leaders really struggling the most with themselves rather than anything else. This is why probably they are lacking to lead others. I believe if I cannot lead myself, who else can I lead? No one.
Very
So so the points I would like to share with the young ones is develop the unique you. You are unique. So develop unique you. If you are in corporate, take initiative, be proactive, be fast and reliable. Always work only on your strengths. Maintain strong positive mental attitude. Develop a sound physical health. Have an open mind to everything and everyone. Never ever give up. Above all, show attitude of gratitude and have harmony in human relations.
yeah,
Very
very
well put. Excellent points that you have shared with our emerging leaders on how they can develop themselves. But for me, Partha, I'm going to have three takeaways from your talk today. Number one, work towards being time rich. Number one. Number two is be fearless to be to take that plunge, be in sync with your body and mind. And number three, be the leader who works towards producing more leaders. So that's my three takeaways from today's session. With that, I would like to thank Partha for being here on our show today. Leadership Talks, hosted by Leadership Card, will be back next week with another leader from another industry to share more insights on their journey so that all of us can grow and accelerate our journey. For more, reach out to Leadership Card, join our Facebook page so that you can know more about our upcoming talks, our webinars, and programs. This is me, Kirandeep Sandhu, Ashish Datta, and Mr. Partha signing off for today's episode.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
CSB.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ashish. Thank you, Kiran.
Thank you. Thank you.